At a nearby park, a horrifying sight was discovered. It was the corpses of a couple once thought to be missing. They were stitched together by what looked like the fishing line. The news about the incident reverbs around the room of Michio, a shut-in of 7 years. On this specific day, an invitation for a class reunion came to him. During the night, as Michio was reminiscing about his previous classmates, the radio he was listening to abruptly changed music. Nobody likes a lonely only. Everybody join hands now. Everybody join hands now. Those were just a few of the phrases that the radio was uttering. For Michio, it was nothing more than a strange ad, and he went to sleep. The day after that, Michio had a visitor. It was Natsuko Horie. She was his classmate in elementary and junior high school. According to Michio, she was the only one who seemed to care when he distanced himself during those times. Michio went to see Natsuko at their door, all the while surprised at how beautiful she had become. They talked about the reunion which was planned to happen on their coming-of-age ceremony in January, and she invited him to come. At the same time, Natsuko invited Michio to the meeting of their class in a cafe. She wasn't having no for an answer, and Michio came to the said cafe. There, he met with old acquaintances, specifically with Noriyuki Sakai and Keisuke Kasagi, who also invited him to come to their reunion. There, Noriyuki began talking about how monotonous life will be once they graduate. Natsuko told Noriyuki to stop that way of thinking, and Keisuke joked that his wife will have to pick the slack instead. As Keisuke joked about it, Noriyuki remembered that they still haven't told Michio that he and Natsuko will be married soon. Upon hearing the news, Michio congratulated the two and said that he will be leaving the cafe. As he was walking home, Keisuke caught up with Michio. He invited him to join the singles party that he was putting together. Michio politely declined Keisuke's offer and continued to go home. On the way home, Michio saw a bunch of people gathered together. Intrigued, he went for a closer look. What he saw shocked him. It was a bunch of dead people stitched together on the waterway. While they were looking at the horrifying scene, a plane passed over their heads, strewing flyers all over. Michio picked up one of the flyers and took a look at it. There, he saw words that seemed familiar. Nobody likes a lonely only. Everybody join hands now. Everybody join hands now. In their home, Michio was on the internet and asked about the Army of One. In his mind, the Army of One might be related to the Stitch murders. During his conversations on the internet, he got a call from Natsuko. She was with Noriyuki, and she told him that Keisuke, along with the people from his singles party, were all missing. Days later, Keisuke Kasagi and his guests were found at the mountainsides, dead and all stitched together. The news have started to cover the bizarre murders, and Michio began to become anxious. On the internet, rumors are spreading that the Army of One targets crowds, making Michio even more anxious. He called Natsuko to warn her about their upcoming class reunion and coming-of-age ceremony. Instead of telling her that he was coming, he told her that they should be postponed. However, she told him that they were going to go through no matter what, also adding that Michio should also come with them on their class reunion. A few days have passed, and Christmas came. On Christmas Eve, Michio was relaxing in his room while listening to the radio, when suddenly, a familiar sound came. Nobody likes a lonely only. Everybody join now. Everybody join hands now. It was the army of one again, and this time, it was freaking him out. When tomorrow came, something horrible happened. The streets of the city was littered not only by Christmas ornaments, but also by dead bodies sewn together. Due to the unexplainable events involving the murders, most of the coming-of-age ceremonies all over Japan were cancelled. However, Michio's class's coming-of-age ceremony would still push through. With the security tightened, the event was held in public. Michio also went to the event as he was concerned about Natsuko. But instead of attending the same event as her, he chose to observe by the sidelines, making the nearby security become suspicious of him. He was immediately apprehended by the nearby police upon suspicion, but luckily, Natsuko was there to explain the situation. They were told to proceed to the venue as the ceremony was about to begin. When they arrived inside the auditorium, there was no one there. Not a single person was found inside. In the blink of an eye, over 500 participants vanished without a trace. Days later, the said participants were discovered on the mountainside, all dead and stitched across the trees. From there on, people avoided congregating outdoors. They stayed inside their homes and spent their days alone. Couples slept in different rooms, while families are separated even inside their homes. Inside his room, Michio called Natsuko. He was checking up on her ever since the ceremony happened. Her fiancé was dead, and Michio wants to be there for her. Even up to the point that he will go to her house, despite all the dangers that it presents. Determined, Michio set out to Natsuko's house without a care whether he dies or not. As he was walking through the empty town, a plane flew by, scattering flyers all the while blasting a familiar tune. Nobody likes lonely only now. This time, as the plane passed by, 3 more followed. They were fighter jets pursuing the said plane until they all vanished on the horizon. Michio was overjoyed by what he saw. He happily rushed towards Natsuko's home bearing the news. There, he saw something unexpected. Nobody likes lonely now. Everybody join now. Everybody join now.